they screw you, and then they tell you to call a taxi. How's it going, creeps? Welcome back to Cinema Creep. Cinema Creep is a place where I discuss, dissect, and review all things vile, disgusting, and downright terrifying in the world of horror cinema. So if you didn't watch my trailer reaction for this movie, then you may not know how excited I was for this film. Unfortunately, it wasn't playing anywhere near me in theaters, so I had to wait for it to come to streaming before I could actually see it. That's why this review is a little bit late, but if you want to check it out, this movie's currently streaming on Shudder. So I had a really good time watching this film, but not everything was great about this movie like I thought it was going to be. So let's get into that and talk about those things right now. So the story is about a late night TV host named Jack Delroy, who's planning a big event for his show Night Owls on Halloween night in 1977. However, Night Owls is in trouble as ratings have plummeted, so Delroy is willing to try anything to beat out his rival Johnny Carson as the late night TV king, which leads to Delroy unknowingly unleashing evil into the nation's living rooms. At 93 minutes, the film hits that sweet spot for me when it comes to horror movie length, just long enough to keep me engaged without making me feel bored. The Carnes brothers were able to achieve this by quickly setting up the character of Jack Delroy through a documentary retelling and explanation of Jack Delroy's life leading up to the events that encompass the main storyline and the last broadcast of Delroy's live TV event on Halloween night. This segment tells us all about Delroy's climb to fame, his bitter rivalry with Johnny Carson, his ties with a potential satanic cult called The Grove, and the untimely death of his wife, Madeline. Don't tell anybody, but I am a sucker for found footage and mockumentary horror films, especially when they take place in the 70s or the 80s. And this is so expertly accomplished here. The Carnes brothers really nailed that 70s look and feel. Not only is the film shot in 4:4 aspect ratio, but there is film grain galore, and the cinematography does a great job at capturing the aesthetic of that time. It really feels like you're watching a late night TV show just as they intended. The change between black and white and color are indicative of being on air and off air, with the off air segments giving you good character building in between the on air moments. Most everything I've seen about this film has been positive, except I have seen some people complain about the CGI looking low budget. But if you go back and rewatch some of your favorite horror films from the 70s, you will quickly see how close the CGI and special effects in this film mimic the technology of that time. Honestly, think that this was a stylistic choice, and I didn't see anything wrong with it. I don't think they were skimping on the CGI or it was bad CGI. I think they were just mimicking the CGI that was present during the 70s. This movie succeeds where many modern movies fail, and it makes you like and root for the characters, even if Delroy becomes increasingly selfish throughout the film, doing whatever it will take to make sure that his show bounces back. However, they are all likable, even Delroy when he's being selfish. I would hang out with all of them. David Dastmalchian does a great job playing the host, and he ranges from portraying a great showman to being nervous and then being frightened as the story progresses. I'm glad to see Dastmalchian getting leading roles now, and I can't wait to see what he does next because he is a phenomenal lead actor, and he just fits in with the horror genre so well. I also particularly like the character Gus, played by Reese Ottery. He plays the co-host and sidekick on Night Owls to Delroy. He seems like a pretty sensible guy because time after time, as things start getting weird, he wants to leave the studio. He's the only one trying to make the right choice, which, sort of makes him seem like a normal person. I was very surprised to see that this actor only had 2 credits on IMDb because he was phenomenal. I'm sure we'll see him again in more horror stuff, or at least I hope so, because he was really entertaining. The character of Carmichael Haig, played by Ian Bliss, is a genius addition to the cast as he plays a magician and a skeptic of the paranormal. He is clearly based off the real life of James Randi, who in the same vein was a skeptic and a magician who later in life chose to dedicate his life to investigating claims of the paranormal, the occult, and the supernatural. He was frequently also on the Johnny Carson show, and I think it's only a matter of time before we see a biopic about him, and I'll be there, the first one in line to buy the ticket because James Randi's story is rad. Haig, just like his real-life counterpart Randy, has come to the Night Owls show to disprove any and all claims of the supernatural and the paranormal, while offering up a reward if he is proven wrong. Haig sort of plays a jerk, but being a skeptic myself, I get his frustration throughout the film. Because throughout my lifetime, so many people have told me they've seen a ghost without ever being able to provide any evidence. It's kind of frustrating. I want to see one too. Laura Gordon as June plays the doctor and guardian of the possessed girl Lily, who is played by Ingrid Torelli, and they both do a fantastic job. Torelli switches from innocent girl to possessed on a dime and makes it believable as the demon Mr. Wriggles shows up from time to time throughout the talk show. She really had some pretty terrifying facial expressions throughout this movie. The film overall was a blast, and it felt like it brought something unique to the possession and paranormal story, and I think it came out at the right time, because we keep seeing the same possession stories over and over and over again. Overall, great characters, original story, and great aesthetic. But there was one major flaw, and just like most other modern day horror movies, even Late Night with the Devil couldn't seem to quite figure out what to do with the ending. Now, the ending wasn't terrible, it just wasn't as strong as the rest of the movie, and that's generally a problem in movies dealing with the supernatural or the paranormal, because they take you on this crazy, hellish ride of the supernatural, and then they just leave you back at square one with nothing by the end of the film. It's sort of like they go way over the top in the third act, but the climax, they screw you and then they tell you to call a taxi. The film has an underlying moral story, and that is the cost of fame. Delroy has throughout his life pursued fame, leading him to do whatever it takes to get there, joining cults and participating in rituals to provoking the devil on live TV for ratings. This leads to Delroy at the end of the movie having lost everything: his show, his crew, his wife, and his friends, all in exchange for a highly rated TV event. Does that sound like another platform, modern day platform? So far, this is one of the best films I have seen this year, and I regret I didn't get a chance to see it in theaters, but honestly, with it being shot in 4:3 aspect ratio and made to look like a late night TV show, I think maybe watching at home is the better way to see it. If you have a CRT TV, bonus points. I think I'm going to rate this movie 4 out of 5 creeps, but let me know down in the description what you think of Late Night with the Devil and how many creeps would you rate this film. Also, what do you think about the 4:3 ratio I used for this video? Should this be the new normal on the Cinema Creep channel? Let me know down in the comments. Also, don't forget to check out the Patreon for cool channel exclusives and to help support Cinema Creep overall. And as always, guys, stay creepy, and I'll see you on the next one. See ya.